Hi, welcome to another Power Blast podcast. Afraid to do a cleanse? Is doing a cleanse right for you? Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Perry Tinsley here, creator of Power Blast podcast, owner of PutYourselfFirst.com, and thank you so much for being a subscriber or tuning into this show. So grateful to just be able to share some tips and stories and things to help people better their lives, get healthy, get fit. And today I have a special guest on. This is a lady that when I sent out an invitation to join a group that I was doing where we were going to do a 21-day cleanse, she was a bit skeptical, a bit worried, a bit frightened, and I'm going to have her share her journey with you and what the whole process, because she did commit and she did do it, but there was some uncertainty at the beginning. So I hope you enjoy this, and I'm eager to find out what you learned from Kat Escobar. And let's get over to that interview right now. All right, hey everyone, I got my friend Kat Escobar on Power Blast Podcast. Welcome.
Hi.
Hey, it's so awesome to have you on here, my friend. Getting a little cameo appearances from our pets as well. And Kat is going to share her journey on what her experience was. She just got done with our 21-day group. We did a group using the 21-day reset. And it's called the Ultimate Reset. And I've done it like maybe 6, 7, 8 times, and great results, varying results every time. But it's been a long time since I've run a group. I've always just kind of done it myself. And I remember just the energy of a group going through it together, and just fall is the perfect time. But I'm going to turn it over to you, Kat, because when you came, when you were making the decision whether you were going to do it or not, you had some sort of mindsets, maybe you will, maybe you won't. And then why don't we dig into what your experience was like, and even share with people why they might want to consider doing Ultimate Reset in the future. So welcome, my friend, and I'm going to turn it over to you.
Hi. Well, my name's Kat. I'm 46 years old. I'm a mom of 5 kids, married 20 years. And for me, I've always been into fitness. It's like an obsession, like with my weight. And Perry kind of knows my mom. My mom's always been like, oh my gosh, she's heavy. So it's always kind of been in my head to, stay in shape. When I turned 35, after my babies, I had 2 miscarriages. So I knew that I was done having kids. And so I focused on my health, and I got in the best shape of my life at 40. 40 was like 20 for me. And then my dad passed away suddenly. I got into a car accident. And then my focus went from me to my mom, and I gained 40 pounds. I stopped working out completely. We were drinking almost every day, eating fast food, snacking, Cheetos, Doritos. I mean, anything bad you could do, doing it. And then Perry's been my coach now for several years. And whenever he would set up like a fitness group, I would always say, okay, I'm going to do it. And then I would do 21-day fix or body beast.
Mm-hmm.
And by Wednesday, I'd be like, okay, the scale's not moving. I'd be frustrated. And in my mind, I knew, okay, it took you 3 years to put all this weight on. You're not going to lose it in 3 days. But I would get frustrated and I would stop. But I would read everybody in Perry's group, the post, his videos, and it would inspire me. But I just couldn't get over that hump. Then I broke my foot just this year in July. And I got the clearance yesterday. I can work out again. I'm healed. Yay. But Perry, in the beginning of October, he said, hey, I'm going to start a cleanse. And I thought, okay, I'm thinking in my mind the 3-day refresh. I never could do the 3-day refresh. By day 2, I was cheating and having Snickers or Taco Bell. And the food on the refresh, it was doable. I was never hungry, but I could never get through 3 days. So I was thinking, okay, Perry's saying, let's do a cleanse. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do 3 days. I can do 3 days. And when I told him that, I said, oh, the 3-day refresh. And he's like, no, I was thinking the ultimate reset. And in my mind, bells, alarms, scared, scared, scared. I can't do this because I had bought the ultimate reset before, and it sat in the corner of my room. It expired, and I was like, oh my God, 21 days. Okay, nail biter. Can I not drink for 21 days? Can I give up my coffee for 21 days? Meat for 21 days. I mean, I'm going through all this stuff, and my mom, she's usually always here. And if she was here, and she's 73, if she wouldn't do it, but she doesn't, she's like a 60-year-old. I mean, she doesn't look her age or act her age. And I thought, if she's not gonna do it, I'm not gonna do it, because if she's having some champagne, I'm gonna want some champagne. Or if my husband goes out Monday Night Football, I'm gonna want to go and have, a few beers. But excuse me, I said, you know what? And seeing, just talking to Perry through Messenger, I'm like, okay, it really boosted my confidence. I'm like, okay, I really think I can kind of do this. So I bought the reset for myself, and I told my mom. I didn't say, do you wanna? I told her, you're gonna do this with me. You have no choice.
Oh, wow.
So, and my mom taking pills, it's a sight to see, because she hates taking pills. And so I was worried, and she is stuck in her ways. She didn't want to try certain meals. Oh, and it's like a Bible for me now. I have all these like bookmarks, and so we started. I weighed myself. I took all my measurements. She just weighed herself, and so just Perry's videos, and even Hillary, she saved my bacon when I took, because in the first few days, I was like, potty word going through my head, I'm not going to be able to do this.
Mhm.
I was so tired, and I just kept seeing my Keurig coffee pot, and I was like, oh, one cup won't hurt me. And then making the meals, when you're tired and have to prep the meals, they're pretty easy to prep. But when you're tired, it's like, and Hillary's like, well, if you find something you like in that week, you can eat it every day if you want to do that. And I believe it's kind of like the ultimate reset in a crunch kind of thing to do. And so I tried several things. I was dying to try this soup. It's the zucchini cashew soup. And Perry said, oh my God, it's so good, so good. So I couldn't wait to try it. It's not a very pretty soup, but it was a tasty soup, but my mom hated it. She's like, oh, she wouldn't try it. And so we pretty much stuck with the
She never tried it?
She took like this, a bite. And I liked it. I thought it, because back when I was eating healthy, it's kind of, I was used to certain things. So I kind of had a little bit of an open mind to try other things.
I bet you if she was blindfolded and just said, taste this tasty soup, and she didn't get to know anything in it, and she would have fell in love with it.
Yeah. And I believe, was it the lentil carrot
Mm-hmm.
salad? I flipped over it. I loved it. Watching her eat it, she'd be like, she's closed-minded. And but I tried certain things. My favorite was a sweet potato roasted bisque. It's like her eyes fool her. Like you said, if she could be blindfolded and try different things, your mouth would be like, oh, this okay, I like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked a lot of the foods, and I was worried and concerned I was going to be hungry, because I'm a snackaholic. I'll be like walking by the fridge, and if there's fruit, I'll pop, eat like, turn into 10 grapes. I'm a snacker. And but I saved my bacon. I bought the gallons of distilled water, and I put my mineralize in, and then I would funnel it in my smart water. So it's not smart water, it's my distilled water, because I can't carry that jug around, chug. So I made it a little easier for me in my smart water bottle. And this is, for me, I get up in the morning, I'd have my coffee and not eat until like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And what I would have would be like a flour tortilla with butter. And I mean, the reset taught me, as soon as you get up, I would drink, 24 ounces of water. And it was like my body was like, oh, yeah, you were thirsty, girl. Good job. And then I'd have my breakfast, which was usually, the fruit. I stuck with the fruit. First week, I had my oatmeal. Love my oatmeal. But I'd have my fruit for breakfast, and then I would wait my couple of hours, and I would have my water. And when I could, after the 30 minutes of eating, I would drink my water, and I would keep sipping on my water. And then I would have my lunch, and I would always have a snack. I'd never skip my snack, but it was usually my Shakeology, which, making it with the strawberries and the flax seeds, which are pretty good, and the chia seeds blended up. You can't even tell. And my body I was getting through it. Now, probably I'd get tired towards the end of the day, and I'd be like, it was like a crash. But it was because I know my body was like, hey girl, what's this clear stuff you're drinking? Where's our Pepsis, or where's the coffee? It didn't understand what I was doing to it. But and Hillary even mentioned, she said give it to week 2. She loved week 2. And so I'm like, okay, if I told myself, if I could make it through the first week, me, somebody that couldn't even do the 3-day refresh, anybody could do it. Anybody could do it. So I made it through week 1, and then I got to my week 2, and I'm like, okay. And then Perry had posted something, and he said, we're halfway through. And I knew I was a couple days behind him, so I'm like, I'm almost halfway through. And I was really excited about that, because I didn't cheat. I stuck to it, and I have never had so much water in the past 3-4 years as I did these last 21 days. And I could tell in my skin. I could see, my mom even said, wow, your skin is looking really good. And of course, the visits to the bathroom, I get to stay at home, so it was not a big deal for me, because I could, down a gallon and just, basically just live on the toilet, because I'm home, so it's easy for me. But I had this coat on my, sorry everybody if this is kind of gross, but I had this weird like white coat on my tongue, and I tried to brush it away and it never went away. But eating clean for these 21 days, it looked like a tongue should look. And my skin, even my eyes, like Perry's like, the white in your eyes, and I'm like, uh-uh. And I looked and I was like, ooh, oh, they're not bloodshot. Wow, they are white. And so yesterday was the day I weighed myself, and I took all my measurements, and I lost 5 pounds and 8.5 inches. And I had told Perry that in the past, that kind of milestone for 3 weeks, I would have been like just so depressed and like, oh my God, I wasted 3 weeks of my life. Why wasn't I eating Snickers and coffee and, red meat? But for some reason, I felt good about myself. And why, for me, it wasn't so much of losing the weight. It was, I knew with all that alcohol and crappy food, I knew it was like my body was saying, hey girl, hit me up with a cleanse. And my body, it felt good. I felt good. Certain things looked better. And so it wasn't like, oh man, only 5 pounds, blank, blank scale. But I was like, hey, it's better going this way on the scale than that way on the scale. And I was happy. I was ecstatic with my results. And I 110% would totally do another reset. I feel like lost with it. I'm like, is it time to take my pills yet? Wait, I need to, is it, I mean, I feel a little bit lost. I really do. And I'm still eating veggies, and I'm still having my fruit for lunch, and I haven't had a soda. I'm still drinking my water. And I know in the book it says, hey, no sodas, no sugary stuff, no dairy, no, it's still, you're still kind of in the clean, phase of it, but I kind of need that restriction, and I like it. So I I totally 100 million percent. If anybody's like on the fence, you should do it. It's, and if you can make it through that, it's that first, I think the first 3 days are the roughest. And I think everybody says that's why you should start on a Wednesday. So if you work, you're on a Saturday where you're like, I can't move off this couch. Help. So that was the roughest for me. And I thought giving up coffee would be like this. There's no way. It shockingly, it wasn't bad at all. But when I went into this, I knew I didn't want to come out being a vegan. I knew I wasn't going to give up my coffee, my Snickers or candies. I like having yogurt, and so I knew I wasn't trying to change my lifestyle back to that way, but I was doing it to kind of get toxins out of my body, and my body seems to be singing, and it seems to be better. So I thank Perry and Hillary for making me, yes, no, not making me, for getting me to go on this journey and to stick with it. And Perry was so good about every day he would either he would show what he was cooking, he would share that, he would post like working out, and it was like a tunnel. His videos were like a tunnel vision for me to get through it. And I thank you humbly. And my mom too. My mom was, when that one time when you said, hi Jean, I do see you, she just was like, oh no, he sees me. She got such a kick out of that. And so I'm a believer. I'm a believer.
Wow.
And that's my story.
That is so awesome. I'm glad you really shared that story. I'm glad you had that experience. And a few things, and I'm going to share this with the people out there. Now, this cleanse, a lot of times people think that you've got some chemically weird juices that you're making and you're starving yourself. And nope, that's not happening. That's not happening with this cleanse, because you're eating really good, healthy foods. Is it designed to turn you into vegan? No, it's actually, I kind of look at it as like a lot of us, we have our cell phones, and our cell phones don't get totally recharged. The battery kind of drains, and we try to run our lives on this drained battery for a long time.
Right.
And it's kind of just giving us a little power charge to say, you know what? It's not like we're going to live on full charge all the time.
Right.
But if you decided that you wanted to, you certainly can. One of the things Kat was saying, gosh, I kind of missed that discipline of taking the supplements. Well, they do have a maintenance program that you can continue with any of the supplements. You just don't take them as often, and you can still follow the great eating plan. Hillary and I are the same way as Kat here with, we never turned around to say we're going to turn it. We don't subscribe to any certain eating program. We're not pescatarian. We're not paleo. We're not, we're not,
right.
We're whatever we want to eat. But we know from our experience, our bodies have felt better when we eat more vegan, plant-based meals. And so that's what everything you said was totally the same as what we went through. We were like, man, I don't think I can give up that coffee. It was the habits that was anything. It was the discipline of walking by the refrigerator without compulsively opening it up and just grabbing mindlessly. I work from home too. So the refrigerator is always there saying, hey, open me up.
I'm lonely. Come eat.
No, it's been 5 minutes since you've been here. So, you run into that experience, but week 1 is typically the most challenging because your body is getting rid of those toxins, and the toxins, as they exit the body, for whatever reason, I don't know the science behind it or whatever, but they tend to go through the most achy. If you have kind of like achy knees generally, or achy elbows, or an achy back, that's where you're going to feel it the most, wherever you're mostly achy. Your energy level is kind of like, ugh.
Right.
And, but you just know, I'm giving my body a break. And if I'm feeling this achy, that's the stuff that I've been holding on to I've been
Yeah.
I've been constantly keeping that achiness inside me. And
Mhm.
that's a good indicator that it needs to get out. But most of us never give ourselves the chance to know what it feels like to feel good.
And also, I noticed too, and also the reset, that group, that was good too. I was a little disappointed that it was. I think everybody just stays in phase one and talks about phase two, phase three, because the other groups aren't quite as lively. But I was nervous too with the power greens and the detox. I was like, ooh, what am I getting I liked the power greens. I loved the detox. I had zero problem with it. And I guess, when you read like a negative, when somebody says the power grow, it gets in your head and it kind of messes with you. And when I saw the power greens, it's so funny, I mixed it. I have a shot glass and I actually mixed it in a shot glass, and I saw it and I'm like, oh God, really? And when I took it, I was like, my body just said thank you when I took it. Amen. And the detox, I was sad when I was like, oh gosh, I hope I have extra packs. I'm so going to keep taking it. But I had no problems. And the pills, it doesn't bother me to take pills. So I would take like, 4 at one time and be done with it. So I had no problems with the pills, the power greens, or the detox. I loved them. I actually did. And the food, and it was neat to actually, because usually my husband, he cooks, I clean. And so it was kind of fun. I got in there and I kind of made, my own little meals. And I was like, ooh, I made this. And, my mom was like, but I was like, yeah, I did this. And so just the whole thing was kind of like, it lifted me up. It really did. And I have zero regrets of doing this. And like I said, I'd do it again. I
That's
really
so
would.
awesome. Well, I'm so proud of you because and I know you're proud of yourself because you accomplished that. You gave yourself a gift. You had the gift right there all along, but a lot of times we mentally get in our own way and let ourselves off the hook for certain things. But you did it. You accomplished that, and that should be an indicator for that you can accomplish anything. I know that it's been years since you've been into the groove or whatever. Your energy should be right
I
at a peak right
like
now.
I'd be tired right now and I feel like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go vacuum or I'm gonna go do some. I feel awake, and usually this, would be the time. Hey, let's have a drink, and you want some nuts, But I feel like no, I gotta. I the energy it's off the charts.
Yeah. How did you sleep?
I would be a tosser and a turner. What, like, my body would be so tired when I went to bed. I had the most deepest sleep. I had the most vivid dreams, not nightmares, no nightmares. They were dreams, and good dreams. And I slept because I would always wake up and be like, what time is it? What time is it? One eye. And this time I would go to sleep, and I would be going to sleep around, it would be 11. And I used to be a 1 a.m., 2 a.m. girl. And I would be like 10:30, 11. I think I'm done. And I would sleep and not wake up because sometimes I'd have to wake up to go to the bathroom. But it would be like 3 in the morning. And then I would be like, great, I'm screwed now. I'm going to be up from 3 on. I went back to bed and I was out like a light, but I woke up like this, bing, hey, it's 7 a.m. What am I doing awake at 7 a.m.? And I got up and I was awake, alert, and Carrie knows this one's not a morning person. I am not a morning person, but I woke up and my boys were like, Mom, what are you doing up? And I'm like, I don't know. I feel great. Hey, you guys want breakfast? I'll make you some breakfast. And so the sleep, that was probably another way up here, a highlight. It was a Moz.
Yeah. It's challenging to explain these things to people of how they're going to feel
Mm-hmm.
because it a lot of times it's going to be abstract to you until you experience that. And that's what I've discovered with Ultimate Reset. And we are going to run another group. So if you're interested in doing another round, you're of course welcome to that. We are going to run another group following the U.S. Thanksgiving. And while I personally won't be doing it myself, I'll be coaching all the way through it. So I may not have all of the recipes right there, but I eat that way now anyway for most of the time.
Mhm.
And I think for those of you that are watching, even Hillary had told me, she goes, you should run a group like this a lot more often. People need it. So, for sure, to do one in the fall and to do one in the spring would be kind of the ideal thing. Then, if you do end up getting off track with holiday food, holiday alcohol, whatever it is, you can come back and literally in 21 days, you're feeling fantastic. You're back on track. Of course, we do have a 3-day program, but that's totally a different thing. Your body does not go through that experience. It's
No.
kind of more, you're going to notice a difference on the scale. And while this program isn't necessarily made for trying to tip the scale way down in the numbers, look what you did. I mean, 8.5 inches. Who wouldn't, if none of us weighed ourselves, who wouldn't be happy going, you know what, I'm down 8.5 inches over 21 days.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And 21, I always heard it takes 21 days to make a habit. And so with doing that water, I'm like always carrying this guy around with me now. I mean, I just started drinking this and it's already almost gone. And that's my I believe you asked too, what is your habit? My habit that I learned from this, water is good, and breakfast. When I notice if I skip my breakfast, I noticed back then I was just lagging, and my blood sugar, I'd start getting the shakes, and then I would just reach for a quick, fix instead of actually eating food. So those were what I learned, was not skipping the breakfast and water, water, water. And that's it. I can't, there's nothing negative I can say about this, because it's not twisting your arm. Will give up coffee in 21 days. You can't ever have another Pepsi again as long as you live. It just gives your body a break. And I don't know. I got nothing bad to say. Nothing.
yeah,
Love it.
it's pretty incredible. And I'm with you. The first time I heard cleanse, I'm like, oh my gosh, fearful. And I did a series of videos out there. I actually did 30 days worth of videos. I actually did videos continuing after the reset to talk about when I started reintroducing things back into my eating. I think like the second day after, I made portobello mushroom caps with this nice little recipe with a little light cheese and whatever. I had the worst stomach ache and the worst headache. And I'm like, what is going on? Well, that's an indicator that you're putting something back in your body that your body's not ready for yet.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you've got a little bit of a aversion to.
Mm-hmm.
And while it may not always be that sort of reaction, it's just an indicator that it's like, yeah, you're not quite ready for that yet. It's really kind of a unique experience. And so I'm really happy that you now what was Jean's experience?
Now, my mom, she lost 9 pounds, and she didn't take her inches, but I can tell her clothes are hanging on her. I can tell. So she's thrilled with that. The foods she wasn't crazy about, but she did not cheat at all. She stuck with it. She took her pills. Sometimes on the dinners, she's like, I can't do it. So I would do a Shakeology for her. So that would be her dinner. And I know that's not a good thing, but she's like, I can't. But she is like, I feel better. I'm glad you twisted my arm to do this. And also with you and your videos, she loved it. Whenever I'm like, oh, Perry's live, and she's like, oh, okay, let's watch. She enjoyed that and got a kick. And she's like me. She's drinking water. She would drink maybe one of those little Dasani bottles a day, and that would be it. And so for both of us, we're getting our water in. So I don't know if she'll do it with me again, but she is happy and I'm thrilled. So
Yeah.
I can't say enough good things about it.
That's so cool. I'm glad you guys did it together. I'm glad you had the partnership there. I'm glad we could add value and entertainment for helping you stay engaged. I will be upfront and honest. When you first started asking me questions about it, I could tell you were on the fence. And when you said that you were going to do it, I was like, wow, I didn't see that coming. I in my experience with a lot of people that I coach, they talk themselves out of it. It's a lot of times if people just do I've been reading Mel Robbins' books. It's called the 5-second rule. And if you just count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and do your decision and take action, your brain doesn't catch up to talk you out of it. And so
Right. I've heard that. I've heard that.
yeah, I expected that you were going to talk yourself out of it. And then when you said your mom was going to possibly in it, and I thought, well, okay. And I was delightfully impressed.
Shocked.
And then when you asked the question, can I return it if it doesn't work? I still had in the back of my mind, well, they have to get to week 2. They have to get to week 2, and getting through week 1 can be kind of a challenge for people.
I couldn't part with my book.
Yeah.
The salad dressings alone, I'm going to make those all the time. I love them. There wasn't one bad salad dressing, and I could not. For me, the money alone was worth for the Shakeology, and I'm like a vegan Shakeology girl now. I love it, and the book. It's like it's it's like I'm sad because it's like falling apart and it's sticky from where I spilled like sesame oil and stuff on it, but I just this alone is worth the price of admission. I love it.
Really cool. Well, if you want to continue on that, I'm going to give a little plug for Melissa Costello. She's Tony Horton's chef, or was, and she developed, I believe, most of the recipes, if not all of them, in the book there. She has a website called karmachow.com, and if you go on there, she has a vegan cookbook that you can buy through Amazon that gives you a lot more options that while you're doing Ultimate Reset, I don't think those are going to be Ultimate Reset meals. But if you want to continue on, you're like, what? Gosh, my mind's wide open. I want some, I might go back and make the zucchini cashew soup. But what are some other good vegan types of soups out there that maybe weren't in there? Kind of like that chili that I made the other day with black beans and yams. That was not a Ultimate Reset, but it's that type of eating that can make you still feel like, gosh, I'm having chili, but it's not loaded with sodium and a bunch of extra things that my body isn't ready for or doesn't need. So, and I can still feel satisfied with it. Go on and check out her book there. But that way, anything else, Kat, before we go? I mean, if somebody's considering joining our next group,
you should 100%. I'm thinking, for me, it's the new year. I want to start. That's probably when I would do it. But I know I'm going to do it again. And if joining Perry's group, if you're on the fence, like I said, if I can do it, seriously, you guys, anybody can do it. Perry knows I'm like, I'm going to do it. And then I disappear. So it's amazing. And my body says, thank you.
That's totally awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on here, sharing your journey, sharing your testimonial. I can't wait for you to join a new group in the future.
I can work out now.
You can work out now, and I know you're excited to be a part of that, and I'm excited to get back to working out too. I think through this whole thing, I was kind of just doing some yoga and some Tai Chi, and but
that's not your thing.
While I like those, maybe occasionally, not for the whole time. And it's like, bring back the weights. So I'm easing back into that. Well, anyway, I appreciate you coming on here. That was an awesome, awesome interview from Kat, and I love her enthusiasm and excitement that she shared. And, I shared with you, if you are considering joining our next upcoming group, or even if you want to do the 21-day reset on your own, you can go to Inner Body Health. That's INNERBODYHEALTH.com, innerbodyhealth.com. You can check out all the details there. But I'm going to share just a few of the highlights that other people had from our group because it was pretty remarkable. Suzanne, she lost 9 pounds, about 2.5 inches off her waist, and she just said her skin's softer and she has more energy, sleeping better, feeling great. And she walked about a mile a day minimum and just learned that she doesn't have to. She actually feels better when she eats less red meat and less food. Let's see. Katie, she said that her waist was her biggest problem area, and now her pants feel so much better now. I think because people don't they get rid of that bloat. She says now I can see it in my face as well. I feel great. My skin is clearer and softer. My energy level is fantastic. This time around, doing the reset, I think it clicked. I want to keep this new way of eating and thinking about food going. I'm excited about my new journey. And let's see. Kathy, she said she didn't measure at the very beginning because her goal was just to treat it like an oil change and regroup with eating cleaner diet. It wasn't bad before, but not eating as clean as she wanted to. She lost 3 pounds, and the last time she did it, she lost 9 pounds. But her skin is bright, she looks better, and definitely lost some inflammation that was showing up in her right knee, and her foot cramps went away. So those were just a few more little testimonials that we got from our group. Totally incredible what this program does for people. And I invite you to join us. I think we're starting November 29th through December 19th. You can just message me, Perry Tinsley at gmail.com to get on the list for that group. Or just go to innerbodyhealth.com and you can check out the Ultimate Reset if you want to do it on your own journey. I think you kind of got the picture from Kat that the group really, really helped out. Well, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you feel somebody could benefit from this episode, please pass it on and share it. And if you go into your iTunes app on your phone, podcast app, or even in the iTunes store and give this show a rating and review, that will help so many more people. You absolutely rock, my friend.
Remember, it's never too late.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.